It was a bright summer afternoon in the suburban neighborhood of Brookside. The air smelled of charcoal and sizzling meat, children's laughter echoed across the park, and music floated softly from a speaker. At one corner of the grassy lot, the Johnson family, a black family of 5, had gathered for their annual 4th of July barbecue. For them, this tradition was more than food and fun. It was a time to celebrate togetherness, to remember their roots, and to share laughter with friends and neighbors. Their grill smoked with ribs, burgers, and hot dogs. Folding chairs and picnic tables were set up, and a volleyball net stretched across the yard for kids to play. Most of the neighborhood loved seeing the Johnsons' annual barbecue, except for one man, Edward Miller, their white neighbor. Edward had lived next door for years, but instead of joining the festivities, he grew bitterer each summer. He hated the sound of children laughing, despised the smell of food drifting over the fence, and above all, resented that a black family could live so happily and successfully beside him. That afternoon, Edward leaned out his window, scowling at the scene. Unbelievable, he muttered, taking over the whole park again, acting like they owned the place. He reached for his phone, his fingers trembling with irritation. Within minutes, Edward dialed 911. "Yes, I'd like to report a disturbance," he said. "A group of people causing trouble, making noise, and refusing to leave the property." The dispatcher asked calmly, "Sir, are they doing anything illegal?" "They're grilling without a permit." Edward snapped. "It's dangerous, it's disruptive, and it needs to stop." By the time police arrived, Edward stood outside, arms crossed smugly, pointing toward the Johnsons. "There, that's them. I told you they're disturbing the peace." Officers approached the family, who were in the middle of serving food. The music was low, the kids were laughing, and no one was causing any harm. Confused, Mr. Johnson stepped forward. "Officers, is there a problem?" The officers explained they had received a complaint about an illegal gathering. The family was shocked. "This is our annual barbecue," Mrs. Johnson said firmly. "We hold it here every year, and we always follow the rules." Dozens of neighbors soon came out to defend the Johnsons. "They're not doing anything wrong," one woman shouted. "We've all been invited. It's a family event." Another added, "This is ridiculous. They've done this every summer, and it's always been peaceful." Edward, however, kept insisting, "They're lying. They don't belong here. You need to shut this down before something happens." But this time, Edward's scheme backfired. Several guests had been recording the entire incident on their phones. The footage clearly showed the family enjoying a normal barbecue, while Edward hurled accusations filled with racial undertones. The videos quickly spread across social media under the hashtag BBQWhileBlack, sparking outrage nationwide. Civil rights attorneys soon stepped in, offering to represent the Johnson family. "This isn't just about a barbecue," Attorney Lisa Green declared. "This is about harassment, racial profiling, and the attempt to criminalize black joy. The Johnsons were targeted simply for being who they are, and that cannot stand." The case went to court within months, drawing national attention. Reporters filled the steps of the courthouse, and crowds gathered outside to support the Johnsons. Inside the courtroom, Edward sat stiffly, denying any racism. "I was only concerned about safety," he claimed. "Nothing more." But the videos told another story. In one clip, Edward could be heard muttering, "These people don't belong here." In another, he sneered, "This neighborhood used to be quiet until they moved in." The evidence was damning. Witness after witness testified that Edward had a long history of harassing the Johnsons, from complaining about their music to calling police for trivial reasons. Finally, it was time for the judge's ruling. Judge Martinez, known for her no-nonsense approach, addressed the packed courtroom. "This case is not about safety or noise," she began. "It is about discrimination. It is about a family targeted, embarrassed, and humiliated for no reason other than the color of their skin. Mr. Miller abused the emergency system, wasted police resources, and attempted to weaponize law enforcement against innocent citizens." She paused, the room silent. "This court finds Mr. Edward Miller guilty of harassment and racial discrimination. He is hereby ordered to pay $5 million in damages to the Johnson family for emotional distress, legal costs, and punitive damages. Gasps filled the courtroom. Edward's face turned ashen, his jaw dropping. The Johnsons embraced, tears of relief streaming down their cheeks. Supporters in the audience erupted in applause. Outside, the family spoke to reporters. "We didn't ask for this fight," Mr. Johnson said, "but we stood up because no family should have to live in fear of being criminalized for simply existing. Today's ruling isn't just for us, it's for every family who has been treated unfairly because of the color of their skin." The verdict became national news. Headlines read, "Judge awards millions to black family after racially motivated 911 call." Activists praised the decision as a landmark moment in holding people accountable for weaponizing the police. As for Edward, his once proud reputation in the neighborhood crumbled. Neighbors avoided him, ashamed of his actions. His house went up for sale soon after, while the Johnsons continued their tradition the following summer, this time with hundreds of guests, community members, and even local officials attending to show support. The smell of barbecue once again filled the air, but now it carried a deeper meaning: resilience, justice, and joy that could not be silenced. And as Mr. Johnson raised a toast that day, he summed it up in one powerful sentence. "They tried to stop our barbecue, but instead they fed a movement,